Twazinga nize Samuel Mwesigwa none program council fona kula mukaga nenda kwebaza okuva gye bukere paka nisaawe n'okuba tingo katwekumireku mu kibuga eky'e Kampala amadi gakaire kutona era mu bitundu eby'endawulo gakatona so ewali kudda mu kibuga osobola okubeeda manvuuli oba wayambala ekizibawo gatakulemesa kutambula niwe ali mu biketezo bya Uganda eby'endawulo yongera okuba ati nga wetegereza embeera y'obwire programu eno council February mukaga okuva essaawa 4 paka essaawa 6 ogw'amalya ag'ekyemisana era nenda kwebaza okuba ate nga otwekuumira kukalaganye nti buli wetuuka lwa mukaaga oba walala niffe tusobola okuba ate nga tukutambuza n'okulinza ku nsonga enkulu edibere mu saasiro eno n'ebindi ku ebyo bye tuli kusuubira okwedda mu maiso awo olunaku luno olwaleero President w'eggwanga lino erya Uganda General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni ali kusuubirwa okuba kisaawe eky'ebyafaayo eky'ekololo ne baminisita mu gavumenti eno n'abakungu ab'endawulo okukuba eriiso erisembayo kwabaire kalaani ow'enkalaakalira mu yafeesi y'essaawa minisita ate nga era yali kalaani minisitule ey'ebyempiya Keith Mwakanizi endole ye oba omubiri gwe guli gyaleetibwawo ekololo okutandika wano wendi kwogerera paka essaawa 7:30 era omubiri gwe gunaaba gutoolebwa wano guli gyatwalibwa yeguli gy'okuwuumizibwa alijja kuziikibwa lunaku lwaido era enteekateeka donna twidaba ate nga tuli kutuusaaku wano ku Baba TV saasiro eno omukulembeze w'eggwanga General Kaguta Museveni yeeyiziza eibago ery'eiteeka erikugira ebisiyaga mu Uganda lino erya Uganda era kino kyaviirire mu lwekubaano lw'ebeekobaine ngabo abanakibiina kya NRM caucus ng'alina okuwabula kwe yafunye okuva eri omuwabuzi wa gavumenti mu nsonga ed'amateeka nti abuwaayiro obw'endawulo bulina okuba ate nga bukyusibwamu ensonga gye basinze okutaakwesira n'okuba nti singa wabaawo omuntu abaire akola ebikolwa bino ng'ayenda okuvaayo aidaabirizibwe mu luzungu tukyeta rehabilitation nti asobola okuba ate ng'avaayo wazza eibago ery'eiteeka eryabagibwa saawa na abantu bali kwenda lifuuka iteeka omuntu oyo yeena omusango guba gumugema so n'ebindi ku ebyo omukulembeze bye yalinzeeku era yakkirizagana n'ababaka ba paalamenti ab'ekibiina kya NRM asobola kuba nti yafunye okuwabulwa era yafuna okusaba okuva eri ababaka nti eiteeka lino liireyo mu paalamenti lyongere okuba ate nga liringibwako ensonga eddindi edibeere mu saasiro eno ensonga daimwe ed'amabaati demugoberera ino minisita Amos Lugoloobi ava mu gutundutundu ogw'ekayunga ate minisita owomuto mu minisitule ey'ebyempiya n'okuteekerateekera eiwanga kooti yamuyimbwire awozenga ng'ava waka kukakalu ka kooti ka bukaire 10 abanakayunga basasadde era kyabaire ku kooti nga buli muntu awanika ebipande okulaga nti butisaawa eno kooti yeesaza amazima olwasooka bwe bamutwala mu ituda kwali kukolima kooti kukolima mulamuzi kukolima gavumenti eno n'abantu abandi balangira omukulembeze w'eggwanga ebigambo ebisongovu aye ono bamuyimbwire ng'era minisita omuto w'ensonga d'Ekalamoja Agnes Nandutu yeena bamukaliga iddukira nti ono yeewaayo mwene ku lunaku olwokubiri eri poliisi yeewaayo wali kusiba ekyekibuli ekikola kunoonyereza olunaku olwokusatu yaleetebwa mu kooti era yatwalibwa mu ikomera kitegeeza nti buti olukalala lwa minisita batandise okuwera we basiikwensi nga buli wiiki bavuunyayo mulala we bamuvuunya bamuwa bbayiro yamalayo wiiki namba mu ituda bamala bamuwa bbayiro okuba Amerigo Institute yena yamalayo wiiki Amos Lugoloobi yena wiiki Tiddy ono yena wakumala wiiki so kiyinza okuba nga kitowe kitambula tukugema twakuta mu kooti twakutwalayo wamalayo wiiki twamala twakweddeereza abaminisita 20 n'ababaka ba paalamenti 35 n'olwo olukalala olw'abantu abo so eddindi ku nsonga dityo we ditambwire wenenda tube okuba ate nga tutandikira ekibuga kino eky'e Kampala enguudo difuuse enguudo embi ino era yabali kuteekateeka ekivulo ekyokwolesa ebiina ebiri mu kibuga kino eky'e Kampala okulaga nti Kampala nife abalina ebiina eby'endawulo. Ndowooza ekintu kyabaire kifuuse nga butisaawe eno ekyokuderega. Mukulembeze w'eggwanga yavaayo yalagira mangu ino minisitule ya finance nti ekibuga eky'e Kampala mbawo obuwumbi 600 mu kwota eno agently mbawo esente. Kwaniriza ku Baba TV negaitiibwa kuno omukugu mu nsonga ed'ebyenfuna tube tulire okuba kuniiwe twasembayo okuba kuniiwe ng'oli tuteekerateekera mode y'okulwanisa embeera embi mu kaire kaiseesewo omukambwe. Tukwaniriza lamusa kubali tubona
neyanziza ino abalabi ba Baba TV amayina gange bampita Frederick Etya nga ne mukugu mu byanfuna nebaza Baba TV okuba nti eje kuli eyo yatwetanga abakugu twide twogere ku eri abantu. So mwebale ino mwebalire irala nenda okutandikira nga nkali kujja mu maaso nenda okutandikira wookomye nti nkwenda ino olw'ensonga nti oli mukugu mu nsonga edigema ku bantu. Ebintu byoyogeire ku bwotandikira ku enguudo ne dizimba economy nti enguudo bwe diba ngambi oba oyenda oba toyenda timujja kusobola kutambuza bya maguzi. Bwe mubitambuza mujja kozesa sente eningi nti emmotoka dijja kufa, mujja kozesa amafuta mangi, traffic jam ajja kuba mungi, so mujja kozesa obwire bungi nti ekintu ekibaire kirina okutambulira essaawa ndala kimaliriza nga kitambulire essaawa 10 oba essaawa 5 ate nga mu economy edindi muli competing naddo ojja kubona nga this same thing kiritambula mu bwire butono nga the rate of economics jetweta rate of turnover nga the rate of turnover is high. Omuntu watundira container 10 iwe container yo ojja kubanga ekali mungira. So
kubanga eberwire wotuka.
Yes, olokuba nti ebanga erwire wotuka. So that is the economics of infrastructure. Aye nendo okusasira ku bantu abafirira kwa babwe. N'okusasira Minister of Finance n'eggwanga twaviire ku economist omulungi Keith Muhakanizi. Of course definitely wabaawo criticisms here and there but abaire economist mulungi nenda n'okusanuka walala n'abantu abafunye ebirungi mbebalizaaku nenda n'okuyozayoza baganda baife abasiraamu ababaire mu kisiibo nti olunaku olw'eigulo twabaire mu kucelebratinga Eid manyi bagamba omulirano gwokya 2 so bwobanga oli mukristaayo omusiraamu yasanuka wena osanuka naye. So nenda okuyozayoza bannaife bebale kusiiba nenda even mbenkalejinga nti culture gye batambwire nayo mu kiseera ekyokusiiba gye balina n'okutambula nayo because tikigasa ino kuba nti obaire very holy muina kudokusiiba ate wava mu kusiiba wajja mu bidula atandika okunywa omwenge atandika okwebisa ate mu ngeri eddiini gyetalagira obanga ayoziza n'oyanika mu itaka. Oyogereku ku nsonga y'amabaati tusobola kutandika nga tijogeireku oyidiba kuba nti omwesigwa mu kitono ni mu kinene aliba mwesigwa ate atali mwesigwa mu kitono era ne mu kinene tomusuubira kuba mwesigwa. So bolingirira ensonga y'amabaati nti kiswaza ino okubona nti minister oli kubiba amabaati ga milioni 32 ate nga milioni 32 tiyandibayire ensonga aye nga ga muntu asingira irala obunaku mwiwanga the most poor individuals from the most suffering region mwagagabana walingirira minister walingirira ba minister n'abakulu mu government ngakuba nti gana amabaati kitutu neyagampa nga kitutu buli muntu ayidi nti kitutu minister wa Karamoja so buli nsako jatambuza eba nsako ya Karamoja teba nsako ye so kiswaza ino eiwanga ate era on the other hand kiraga ekika ky'abantu abali kutambuza government. So government omuntu bofuna office ey'obuvunanyizibwa it is very important into office eno holding with a lot of esteem. Ekyokusiba ba ministers okyogeire kuwebalira irala ekyokusiba ba ministers I think it is a good gesture. They are indicators and bwebagema minister bakuta nibo ojja wasulayo nibo atandisuzeyo nibo bandi kobye nti abayireyo essaawa ndala There are lessons to learn. Or in monitoring and evaluation, we look more at lessons. There are lessons. Minister Dava toiremu n'abandi abaire bajja okwiba olw'okuba nti baboine nti minister aibye bona debakola ki debatolamu. So ekyokubasiba, I think to me it's a very good gesture, but kijja kuba kirungi ng'omusango bagugobeire mpaka gye gukoma. Up to what we call logical conclusion. Aye bwe babanga tibagatoire mpaka ku logical conclusion era kijja kwirayo kukira okoza waya nikamwitaka. Aye nenda n'okwencouraginga police nti police chidi bulungi nti emisango egisinga most of the cases they are not investigated up to the logical conclusion. So as a result abantu baba balowooza nti nebogema minister wagema kitutu wamutayo wiki ndala wamala wamutulayo wamukoba joli butala wagoma lugolobi wamutayo wiki ndala wamugoba joli butala wagema nantutu wamugoba nti okay olijabayo wiki biri tubale tukutwale mu high court. Abantu bakibona nga imwe abali mu muzano gwembaire mu ogokuba nti abantu bwe bafa kino bwe kibaawo, there is no case that you follow up the logical conclusion. Then the other thing that is also important, ngandi kwandula nti tuenda n'okusasira baganda baife abali mu Sudan. Tukyudi bulungi nti waliyo outbreak. Dinenta already seeing I did most of these economies. The results of just mere conflict of interest. Nti Samuel anize munetyanga.
But it has tested there and as if it is becoming a norm in African countries.
And that's what I'm saying. Nti, we need to look at our institutions, to strengthen our institutions. Nti Sudan, it's a conflict between two leaders and they spark off a war. Then you are dilapidating, appalling the economy. Abantu bali kufa. By the end of yesterday, close to abantu mitwalo ebiri already bali displaced bajire mu Chad abala bali kulumuka nga bali kujja mu bitundu ebindi. So it is very bad. Aye tuchidi tunya n'abana Uganda abali stranded. So ngera abana Uganda tujja kubiriza government as much as possible okubona nti etawe embera okubona nti abantu baife bali safe. Atera still as an economist nkubiriza African Union nti Sudan webanga eri kubonabona, it doesn't mean that Sudan eri kubonabona yonka. Tuchidi nti Uganda nga eiwanga to exporting close to by end of last year close to 89 million US dollars in Sudan.
80 million.
89, yes, close to 89 million. It's actually to be precise 89.9 million US dollars.
Almost 90.
Yes, mu Sudan.
So byetutwalayo.
Yes, buti ebintu ebyo tojja kusobola kubitwala nga waliyo conflict. Aye tuchidi nti URA ewe bangeri ku planninga. You are planning nti omusuuza jakola business aba ira twala ebintu Sudan yajatwala aba ira twala Kenya jatwala. So when there are those kind of conflicts, they paralyze the economy. Not only Sudan, but even the neighboring economies that have been benefiting from that population. So that is really very bad. Yeah, so neyanziza ino okuba
actually nenzera tutandikire when awo ensonga diwera kutulijali ngeno ku nsonga y'ebyenfuna mu iganga lya Uganda. Ensonga edebyobufuzi dibairewo dirina engeri edikosa mu economy, of course the controlling economy, but not to forget that wiki eno retired kan Dr. Kizza Besigye yena yava yawanda omuliro ng'akuba abana Uganda balina okuvaayo okwerwana kukumbeera eriwo nti embeera ey'ebyenfuna mu iganga lya Uganda eyongeire odobonkana tutwalingirira obuntu obutono ino. Tuli mu kaire nga parliament erikola embalire y'omwaka 2023-2024 ebintu ebiringibwaku mbe ndi kulinganga wano bakyeta budget framework paper the eri final. Kumulundi guno, let me just read this. The theme of the National Budget Framework Paper for 2023-2024 is full monetarization of Ugandan economy through commercial agriculture, industrialization, expanding and broadening services, digital transformation, and market access. This is anchored on the overall East African Community's agenda of accelerating economic recovery and enhancing productive sectors for improved livelihood. Kitegeeza nti kuluno embaaya gye tuli gy'osoma baliita ino eisira nti Uganda eriita eisira kukutoola empiya mu by'obulimi ebiri commercial agriculture, era ng'ensonga eisira bali kulita ino ku irrigation nti abalimi bamaze ebbanga nga balira ino embeera y'obwire eshuuka akasana kaayosha twafiirwa, so baliita ino eisira ku nsonga eno. Bw'oba ng'olingirire allocation is daibwe. The biggest percentage of allocation eri mu security and defense to a close of 8 to 9 trillions. The agriculture, which is now the theme, it does not make it 2 trillions. That's going to be our issue today. But nenze tusooke tuyireyo wano. It is still the economy of Uganda wokobye nti you are a Uganda Revenue Authority tusoloza omusolo. Era the other year baba wa target ya 25 trillions. But it is on record for the past 5 or 10 years you are to usanga ku target gye bajiwa. Every year ever short by 1 trillion or 2. Aye bajongerako buli saa bajongerako. Now okuba ati Uganda tutwala ebintu ebiri close to 90 million US dollars. Olutalo luno luli southern Sudan tulikosebwa tutya era effect ye tusobola ogifiiringa for how long ng'olutalo lukaliyo. Then we look at abasuubuzi betu gy'osolozaamu omusolo cause URA has a close to 28 trillions this time beba gy'osoloza as domestic tax.
The impact of the war in Sudan, Tiwabona Olutalolo, definitely waliwo omusuubuzi e Sudan ali kusuubira ebintu okuva Uganda. Then waliwo omuntu e Uganda already yaweereza ebintu bye nga capital we yamuweereza Sudan. Most of the ebintu byetusinga okutwala biri agriculture nga yabiweereza Sudan. So whether you like it or not, abantu abo bajja kufiirwa ngera bwobona ekyali South Sudan. Nti abasuubuzi be Uganda abafiirwa ebyamaguzi byabwe nga there is an outbreak in South Sudan, some of them went back to the village. Bafiirwa irala. Bajja mu parliament basaba baba compensating, abandi bajja mu court bacha approving anti kitufu abantu bano bafiirwa, ba appropriating anti babawe sente dawe. They have never gotten their money. Tibafunanga sente dawe. How
legally binding does it now come to the government to compensate?
No, you see, let me tell you something. Government operating nga muntu nga iwe Samuel nti TD chenja kulya lwaigulo, TD chenja kulya ncho ati ayengoli musanufu. No. Government elina ministries, for example, disaster preparedness. Elina ministries, Ministry of Finance, different ministries which do projections, trend analysis. It is their role of protecting omuntu akola business. Ya mukoba nti looking at the election of Kenya, buli muntu ali kola business, try to trade carefully. Or we are not using the northern corridor. Always so that there is war outbreak. So weta mukoba omuntu ya
warnings.
Yes. As a result of protecting, cushioning you, because government it collects from you taxes. So it interested mu health yo ngo musubuzi. Buli health yo weba ngambi ni health ya government yebambi. Because government collects financial jet tuli kujamu. Government collects close to it is intending to collect close to 28 trillions from domestic revenue. So it is interested in how you perform iwe ngo musubuzi. Buti omuntu ali kujja e Sudan sawa dino bwaba nga tachidi nti waliyo war outbreak. Yasitula container oba container ikumi yagitwika yagitwala encho ojja kumusanga nga mwavu aye nga singa government yaba ali warning bandi diversify nze They look at now different markets. Maybe instead of Sudan, Kantwale South Sudan. Instead of South Sudan, Kantwale Congo. Instead of Congo, Kantwale Rwanda. Or Kantwale Kenya. Or Kantwale Muchitundu Echindi. Business here, embedi government here collecting. But just imagine, omuntu ona invest in the webanga agricultural product. I invest in the mu raw materials. Data iremu. Asaswire abakozi ababaire balikola mu inimiro,
asaswire transport.
Yes, asaswire transport. Our transport, that is towards the end. Alabirire ebiri mebino byakula asaswire harvesting, asaswire storage, but naja ku transport. All those are costs. Then
value addition for in case of
now very good. Now in case of value addition, ataire ni sente mu value chain addition buli economy jetunulira. So as a result yagema ebintu byatuka abayekera ba Sudan bakoba we bali kutuletera mmere katukozese mmere eno nga butulwana olutalo. So if government had provided earlier warning, a cushioning a business against these challenges.
But then ono singa bagwiremu cause banji balifirwe ebintu byebyo. How binding and how legal is it in the government erina omusasulira? Oba erina omukompensating at certain percentage of loss?
Ekyo kyaba n'amateeka. Ekyo kyaba n'amateeka nze nga economist ndinti the government is supposed to cushion. You know, government is like a parent. It is supposed to cushion the health of businesses. Okay, if your business, for example, fails when you are here, omuntu wabulida ayinza okuba nti boba ngoba ilo lukulaninga restaurant. Oyinza obutajja mu court kutwala government. But you see, when you are exporting, how many of us are informed of what is happening in Juba now? But we have an ambassador there in Sudan.
So blame by your government here.
Because there is someone who is paid to be there. Actually, Nina Modo JNDC on rapid industrialization. I think I'll use 1 or 2 minutes. But you see these diplomatic missions, diplomatic missions, the envoys that we send in different countries out there, they have a very big role. Omulimu gwawe tukujeyo kutulanga bosi wati amamu office walinda sente government allocation is the government wabereyo.
You are supposed as a prefect.
Yes, you are supposed to serve as a prefect, but you're also supposed to serve as a diplomat of the country. Okumonanti you harness all the good things and bring these things back to our economy.
Kale dashika di ya 2009 divile kusawa ina edoko nchi okonaku olwaleero nenda kumuzamu katono nga tulingirira nti Uganda eriyo ebintu ebindi by'otalinga wetuba tulibalirira embalira ne tujosoloza omusolo ebintu ebyo bijjolemesa abasuubuzi okufuna esente de tubenda ku byona tubiplanningira oba tubiplanningira and wetuba tubiplanningire abasuubuzi ne bafiirwa tuba tulisuubirawo okufuna esente. Mu studios muno ninamu omukugu mu nsonga eby'enfuna era tuli kulingirira ku nsonga gavumenti engeri yeri kubalamu embalira yayo eri kwidda n'ebizibu ebidye nga bibaawo nga bikosa omusuubuzi ajja osolozebwamu empiiya nti of course olingira n'abantu abagenda wa Uganda okubeesha eyo boona basasula omusolo balina esente basasula wano era government reports diraga nti government ya Uganda eyongera ofuna esente eningi mu external labor. Abantu basulula mu mawanga agatulire ine. Government basolozaako omusolo. Era eguplanningiraku mu domestic revenue. Aya abantu abo bafuna ebizibu ye bajja government erina enteekateeka kubo duzi wano twakafuna akacyankana n'omuiwanga erya Kenya. Aye ebintu ebyo babiteekateeka nti singa kino kibawa abantu balifaanana batya. Nenda tumalize ensonga ya Sudan then nkutwale ku mulamwa guno we look at the reality vis-a-vis the literature. Buti Sudan kino omukuzi ogusooka as the region nga yekiketezo batera okukolaakola naye batebaire olutalo lw'amaanyi ku borders wabere wabangawo obukuubagano. Is Sudan ono the route wetusobola otunda ebintu ebyo?
It is not the only market, definitely. Kuba Uganda etwala ebintu mu Germany, etwala ebintu mu United Arab Emirates, etwala ebintu mu Kenya, etwala ebintu mu Rwanda, etwala ebintu mu markets nyingi nnyo. But that one is also one of the markets that considering. So we can't say that we are underestimating the market, or we are completely ignoring the market. To market to gender. That's why I was emphasizing that government mulimu gwayo okubona nti protecting abantu nti singa wabawo obuzibu mu foreign market yeno omuntu informinga on time. Ensonga ya Sudan nenda tugitunulire in a broader picture. Nti botunulia National Development Plan 3. Some of our thematic areas is focusing on import substitution and promoting exports. Now, bwetubanga tuli likely okulosing out on the 89.9 million US dollars of exports. Yet our balance of payment position ekali unfavorable. The imports dika exceeding exports. But koba imports ok exceeding exports. Omuntu wa leader kibona nga just ekintu ekiri normal. Aye buli wetu tola ebintu ekulia. Twabireeta munda wano. Kitegeeza nti tulifulumya sente. The other markets are gaining.
President yata kuinesida during COVID-19 and recently wanonga economy eringa erikwenda okugwa ntulekera okuleeta wana ebintu.
Yes, no, there is no economy. Over there, even the superpowers still import. But waliwo ebintu byetusobola okweproducing gira wano.
Byotu alekera okubiyingiza tubyekolere kubanga tusobola obikolesa wano.
No, ate n'okubiyingiza era still teachibi. But what government cheva erina okola in such circumstances is protecting the local farms.
Ababikola.
Yes, because Uganda bwetubanga, for example, tulina amata, tukola products nga yogurt. Nga products dino diva ku nimu United Arab Emirates. Government erina okubona nti protecting a local farm. Nti omusolo gwe bagitaaku gufevaringa omuntu ali ku operatinga. Okusigala nga operatinga ya break eveninga ate yalema n'okukompitinga product ekolerwa wano yalema n'okukompitinga eino ne product evirere ekulia. For example, why would someone produce a product here, same product, then owundi yagiproducing la China, evire China yatuka wano nga yasente ntono kujja bakolere wano.
And they are men on market.
Are you appreciating that? So that the government, if we are to cover the import substitution gap, local farms did protected. But I know as we dive into this discussion to Lijabona, how this budget is going to actually, the 2023-2024 budget, engage of favoring what we are talking about.
Because now, ebintu etusinga okutwala Sudan oba Sudan or Southern Sudan, but that region, the agricultural products. Now the puzzle is tutwala agricultural products tetusobola okufulumikiza wano under hardships nti weather conditions issues and climate changes dikosa abalimi okuproducing at a large scale. President yava yakoba kantewe sente. Let me put a fund particularly to promote commercial agriculture, which is balanced development model. Center that demo setting off. Mwene yatuka yakuba nti center dino lyo tidiri kola bulungi disoke dire you. The final destination of export is the agricultural products. That so we don't allow entono dona dafu no obuzibu. If still the government says the theme of this year's budget, we are looking on commercial agriculture. Are we interested in writing literature, or are you interested in having reality?
Chibuzo chizito ino na okweso olimi olwa bulido na ngo na ndiko byenti chibede. But prioritization ya government You know there is a difference between theory and practice. And this is one of the biggest challenges that we actually face. Nti government bwevaayo ni budget erina okuba nga prioritizing. That is number one. Then number two, government wekoba nti to prioritizing. Key priority areas dirina okuba nga diri well financed. Okubona nti actually government achievinga cherina okwachivinga. Then number three, key priority areas dirina okuba nga diri also supported. So that's why bolingirira budget bolingirira budget je tuli kujja mu 2023-2024. The government wekoba monetarization. Monetarization parish development model yesobola ku monetarizinga. Because government is giving money directly to individuals.
Yeah.
But and they are giving 1 million. But whether this money is going to be of impact, it's another debate. Jetusobola okujamu. Tulingirira buti bwetujana twakoba can the agricultural sector, can it boost the economy? The response would have been yes, because agriculture contributes close to now 65% of our economy. Then when you look at the sectors, the two sectors, the informal.
Is the 65 still in also literature or in practice?
No, it is in practice. Uganda is an agricultural country.
So meaning if we have 65 in hardships of the agricultural sector, meaning if we leave the virtual planning and we make realistic planning, we can make 90%.
Yeah, no, that is very right. That's very right. Also, government we boosting, we comment to boosting agriculture. Yeah, bava mu paperwork ngabo just theory. Theory for me as an academician, we believe in theory. Theory informs practice. When you don't have any theory, you actually can't achieve. That's why anyways we go along njakulaga some of the theories that inform practice. For example, ngecho ekyokuiba amabati singa government yali ina advisors nga balungi, they would have known that the moment we bring ministers, I'm diverting a bit but njakwira, the moment we bring ministers, we get to know that there is a theory, the Mark Greger's theory X and Y, which says that waliwo abantu abetaga supervision ina batetaga supervision. Omuntu atetaga supervision wotamu supervisinga ajja kwiba ajja kola buli kintu kyona kyona. Omuntu eyetaga supervision atetaga supervision ya ajja kola. So now when we come back to how the sector or the economy is performing, the moment government doesn't look at these key priority areas, the economy can't proceed well. Then I also want to show you priority areas of the government Yakobi. One of the number one is human capital development.
Which it has decided for now 3 years budgets will start human capital development.
But in the human capital development is actually important. If government, you see now it also takes us back to what you are saying, the theory and the practice. If government focuses on human capital development, it would mean that along the value chain, never agriculture, along the value chain, these individuals in the informal sector who are contributing 50% of our gross domestic product, if they are actually empowered, one, in terms of what they have to do, two, in terms of understanding the actual value chain, three, in terms of understanding how to supply the market and the quality of the products, then these individuals, then government goes ahead and empowers them financially and materially. Okay, tulina Uganda Development Corporation, tulina Uganda Development Bank, tulina Microfinance Support Center, tulina all other these funding partners, and all these partners are well supported to support these micro entities. Then the economy would grow. But why I strongly agree with you, when you look at the current budget today, agriculture is one of the least funded.
But now, yes, in every budget.
It is one of, now we are looking at what we have, for example. It is one of the least funded. Then
how much do we have?
Then two, agriculture, innovation is also one of the least prioritized sector. But we are saying...
Innovation in agriculture?
Not generally. is one of the least funded. Then technological transformation is one of the least funded. But when you go and read Africa's Agenda 2063, we are saying we want to transform Africa through technology advancement.
And when on our Women's Day, we were women in technological advancement. We were celebrating technology in women.
Now still celebrating, but when you actually go into really precise figures, you will actually realize that there is still a very big deficit. Because the moment we say technology, we are saying, how is this technology contributing towards production? How is it contributing towards the exports that we are exporting to other economies? Then how is it contributing towards the returns? But when you say technological advancement, when even these simple mechanisms like social media are still not appreciated, then whether you like it or not, you are not going to see the kind of, you are not going to register the development that you actually need. So that is one of the biggest challenges that we have. The priority areas of government, they are not, you know, there is what we call the general systems theory. That government and any other institution is supposed to work as a system where all the different components contribute towards each other and they also contribute towards achieving a common goal. Now, in this case, there is that kind of isolation that the National Development Plan 3, which is our strategic plan of the country, speaks of priority areas, but these priority areas are not financed. Or if they are financed, they are under-financed.
Now, before I just go for a small short break, who makes the priority? And the one who makes priority, does he or she knows what is priority in Uganda, or it is deliberate?
Actually, we have a full institution of government called the National Planning Authority. And this planning authority helps in looking at the direction, the policy direction of the country. So it makes recommendations to government. Now, these priorities are approved by Parliament, one of the key arms of government. They are discussed in the executive, they are brought to Parliament, they are approved, and a budget allocation is attached to them. Parliament has committees.
In different sectors.
Yes, committees which take time to read these documents and appreciate them, and at the end of the day come to a logical conclusion. However, but when you look at all these different sectors, the biggest challenge, the resource allocator and the one in charge of prioritization, National Planning Authority, then the one in charge of approval may have different priorities. Now it takes us to issues of conflict of interest.
They have different priorities, yes, on the priority.
Yes, exactly. Then it takes us to issues of conflict, issues of political interference.
Still in budgeting?
No, in terms of prioritizing. Because, for example, to comment, our interest is, for example, agricultural transformation. Now, in agricultural transformation, you find that the technocrats have an arm, but the politicians also have their interests. Nti never to come and to jagaba nkumbi. Ojabona nti minister java never babanga tibenda nkumbi ajja kuwa forcinga. So bwabona nti minister ali in charge of agriculture bamulondera Kampala oyinza n'okubona omuntu ali mu kikubo nga bali muwe nkumbi. Omuntu yakubuuza nti
minister ali kwenda abantu be bamusanikire.
Yes, political favor. Yes. Now political interference edina chine neino nti nibwe muba mu cabinet nga muli kudiscussinga. Ojabona nga buli minister I want to preempt atandika okulingirira how is this cascading to my constituents. That is why you see nti nebe muba n'obuntu ng'obutono ng'amabaati. Buli minister akufa okubona nti abufunako n'atajja abukozesa wakiri abutwala yabuta ku kyumba ky'embizi.
Ndi omuntu ndowooza mu maiso awo alijjo petitioninga president. Ba minister ndowooza balondebwenga outside parliament. Aleme kubaako ni constituency nga is not a member of parliament. Tulonda abantu bano ba professor tulonda abantu abali outside nga they don't have a political attachment but lwakubanga naaba bazira constituency bona kaiba malirizanga bali kuwansa twegetibwa ku omusunsuzi ku council yaife Dr. Robert Kironde nkwaniriza soko kwese dachikade nolamuse ku bantu tusobola okubanga tujja mu maiso
abatulaba balamusiza sanyuse nnyo munnange bwe mbadde ntuuka mu studio n'agamba nti tolina kyosobola kukola if you don't dig out the history. History bw'oba togezezaako kumanya history yo tolina kyoyinza kukola mu maaso era ekyobola abazungu bagamba if you do not know where you're coming from you will never know where you're going. So until you know your history you can never do anything with yourself. Era kyobola I usually njagala nnyo okuwa examples ez'abantu ab'ebusoga, basically a particular family. Rebecca Kadaga, holding her rights, human rights. She protected the human rights in Uganda. And no Speaker of Parliament has ever done so than that lady. From that same family. Mwanume Kibedi, ya helping her hold the economy. Mumusajja atasoma. And from that same family, Shabani Nkutu, ya building enguudo ozimu ezitannabeera tebannayongerezaako in all these years of independence. Rachi, there's a historical background about those people. They are Beatles, because Beatles build institutions. And when you come to sitters, they break institutions. Now, to show, I really believe in the history. Chobola ngenda kufuna akadde kano neeyogerako nze nga Kironde. Kironde yani. Mama nzaala ye Mary Nantege. Mary Nantege muwala wa Kasimu Male eyali Minisita Mengo eyakwatagana ne Shabani Nkutu, Prince Badru, Badru ow'Ekibuli ne basomesa omusiraamu nti olina okusoma. Taata wange yawasa era yawasaako omumbejja w'eki w'Ebusoga. Mama wange ziraba mzaale mmenya yazaala mama mutabani muganda wange asembayo. Ndi omukyala azaala kitange mumbejja w'Etooro, who in 1938 yaweebwa jjajjange to diffuse a fight in property in Buganda. Ndi muzzukulu wa Ibrahim Sewanyana eyatereka ekiraamo kya Ssekabaka Muteesa II. Ndi muzzukulu wa Ntimba eyali yatta omukago ne Daudi Chwa. Ndi muzzukulu wa Kabaka Ntale ow'e Karagwe eyattibwa mu 1894 Abajamani. Oyinza okyewonya nga nyinza okuba nze. Now kyova olaba sitya kukulaga nti mwe mwambala bulala naye abantu b'ekyalo naffe tulina enjawulo eyaffe. Ekyo tekiŋŋaana kubeera Munnayuganda because I'm a fourth generation Ugandan. I'm more Ugandan than some Ugandans who actually have ruled this country for more than 40 years. Now,
but you can't be more Ugandan than others. Dr. Kironde wotwaganire tuli kulinga prioritization. Who makes the priority? Ani akoba nti kino tukiwe sente diti, kino tukiwe sente siti. Mwami Frederick atukoba nti Parliament, Executive, and I think those are Parliament and Executive. Because in Parliament we have committees. Executive.
And we also have a planning authority.
And we have the planning authority,
which advises
the NPA.
The policy directions.
I can't send all those three people. Bamalirizanga ebintu ife bye tubona nti nebisinga mugaso buli omu takirinzeeku. Are all political players
ng'ekiruwa kye batalingako.
Bw'obanga olinga sector ya education, sector ya health, sector ya agriculture, ever badiseera sente. Allocation diba once vis-a-vis other areas.
Okuseera sente tikitegeeza nti tibakirinzeeku. Baba bakirinzeeku. Baba bakirinzeeku, but you see interests. Those are issues that they are issues that guide the interests of a country. Even the politics, you can never disregard the contribution of politics in the direction of the country.
Sam.
All political players we find the politics Sam. At every level.
You say, okay, Sam, that is in your regard. But what I can assure you, for example, the head of state. Do you know that setting the policy direction of a country starts at the manifesto level? Ochidinti manifesto is a very important document. Do you know that a manifesto is set up by a political party?
Sam.
No, there is no manifesto which is not set up by a political party. Buli munsi yona ina jona agenda moja kusanga nga president yajja agenda kugamba era bonna agende Kenya bajja waliwo balina priorities nga abasomesa waliwo politician ejja agamba buli musomesa ngenda mu laptop ngenda kola kino ngoreda akulaga nti my priority is going to be in education. Omulala nojja Abedi we yali yesimbyo singa Abedi Wanika yali afuuse president wa Uganda yandibadde ndoza interest ye yali nnyo mu kugaba enkumbi mu bulimi mu ki kati buli politician abeera ne policy interest ze. So you can't rule out that is my school of thought, and
Sam.
Okay, that you are going to defend it. But I also didn't want to divert from what he said when he was just introducing. Yakobye nti there are Ugandans who have been here for over 40 years. But I may be more Ugandan than them. Now you see, that statement, you cannot downplay its impact. Now that is the problem that this government actually is facing. Some individuals think that they are more Ugandan than others. Now when you think that you are more Ugandan, I don't know his context of that statement, but I will contextualize it according to the general understanding. Buli bw'obeera onoolowooza nti you are more Ugandan, yojja kusanga nga regions ezimu zisigadde ziri backward. Because the sense of patriotism is not in you. The sense of knowing that there is someone who is suffering with jiggers somewhere, there is someone who is dying or aliku starving to death somewhere, wali omuntu amatabago gali kuba ekyo kibanga tikyakugemaku. So why I'm bringing this out is that even in our prioritization, this is an issue that comes in consistently. To developing a budgeting nungi, but because of this element, this sense of individual belonging, nze ndi more Ugandan than another one, no sanga omuntu nga asitude budget. No sanga, yes, omuntu, do you know that according to the Inspectorate of Government, close to 23% of the budget is lost in corruption? Ochidinti, as I conclude, Ochidinti, every hour, according to a report by Inspectorate of Government, every hour in Uganda, 1 million shilling is lost to corruption. And every day, 24 to 25 million shillings is lost. Every year, 9.2 trillion is lost to corruption. The sense of entitlement that I am more than this individual causes that.
Doctor is a doctor. He doesn't own a big position in government.
Until we appreciate our history, the academicians, these ones, will always beat around and they will not be effective. I have seen right now the Permanent Secretary Minister of Finance, Ramadan ago, we had beautiful academic assertions for years. And now he's a permanent secretary. nothing.
You don't see any sense in what he's doing now?
No. The academician I know, I feel so bad because even my friend.
What do you think affected him?
Now, until you know, you go in and look in the history, you cannot know where you're going. Banayuganda mbagamba, ntedda mu Bunyoro, when Bunyoro was being governed by the Sita dynasties, they operated Bunyoro as a personal property. So when Bunyoro buli lwabeerangawo succession, that there would be war because the princes would fight amongst themselves and kill themselves. So what did the Banyoro do? The Banyoro batanga balondangako agenda okubeera kabaka, ne balondako gwe bagenda oku exilinga, in most cases Lango Olacholi, or the place that is called Soko Simbe Wakati, until you understand whatever is taking place right now.
Yeah, oli kumpisa wala.
Chenkugamba. Yes.
Professor agamba nti ekikosa embalirira, the ownership, the feeling that I have,
I
own a big share in Uganda.
I don't have to answer you direct. Now, because I have to begin from where I'm starting. Now, one thing but about one thing, but you've talked or you've been talking for about an hour. Now, one thing about sitters, they will always Abanyoro to break that fighting. Batanga abana, now amune bame exilinga, omunafuga. So in case ono kabaka byafanga, then the valley tomla. What I want to understand that characteristically, a sitter will always own the communities he is governing.
That is political interference.
A sitter will always break the institutions. Now let's come to the...
Who are the sitters now?
Now what do I see today? Museveni Bweyasooka okujja, he broke the backbone of the economy by breaking the cooperative union. He broke the backbone of the economy by because never muna producing I always tell you about the BRICS. Brazil, Russia, India, China, they have survived on cooperative union. Now, here is a man who is going to tell you, tinkulete de parish model, ngenda kuletera akakadde. Ngenda kuwa akakadde owezimbe. Now, bw'omala okukola business, bw'omala okukola obutebe bwo, ogenda butunda otya, oli namutamba. Of course, you won't get access to the markets. And until you have the institution of the cooperative union back, those grand plans are nothing. Those are political, I would call them political makeups to make him look good. Now, omusajja oyo w'enamutamba bw'ana producing akatebe ow'emmeeza, what does the economist say? Cost of administration is in the high, is in the sky. Cost of security is high. They actually, academicians, when we know the exact figures, I think it takes 2/3 of the economy. Now, bali ba third, mwemuli abalimi, mwemuli abasajja abakolaki, then bebafuna only 1/3 of the economy. Now, when we kufuna 1/3 of the economy, 1/3 of the budget, then all taxes fall on them. Do you know what is happening in the business world? Nti abantu abeera ne taxes nganya. Property tax, license, URA lyako. Abeera ne taxes, buli wakyuka, it's a tax, it is a tax, it is a tax. And the business environment is so hostile to any business around. Watch it. They are trying to to prop up people who bebatetaga. The members of parliament, the mayors, the councillors is too big a burden for this country to develop with whatever good plans you have. 2, the cost of management of defense, it is too high with whatever beautiful proposals you make. The proposals go be made for so many years. I used to follow him on Twitter. They were brilliant, but now to them chimutulide. Somebody just grabs money. Today we are going in Congo. They are building roads.
No.
What should they? Now, somebody's grabbing money. Somebody's grabbing money, taking it to Congo. Taking it to Congo, building road. Now, academician, some people are feeling
that the budget has gone in the hands of those who feel that they own a big portion of Uganda. That's where our money. And they make allocation with those interests. I have an interest in Bunyoro region, so the big allocation must come to Bunyoro. I have interest in Kampala, so the big allocation comes to Kampala, not looking at the eastern, the west, what people needs there. What I ask then is, if we have 3 organs, we have the National Planning Authority, tulina executive, and tulina parliament. Meaning nti ono wachibashi mulemi okola double shake ola akole double shake. Can we say tulina omuntu ali center man n'aba deciding bona nti tukole kino ebintu ebiyamba abantu, the basics dabanga in every budget diwewa peanuts.
I am sorry, but I'm going to quote a muzungu. Omuzungu oli yali atwisamu so amaaso so much, but he made a statement. Omanyi omuntu ne bw'aba mulabewo. Please look into the truth of what that imbecile is saying. Now, omuzungu oli yagamba nti abaddugavu, they are vagabonds, they have released their rights, and that is why we are going to kill them and then take over the continent. And nentunulira lanyiga nnyo, nentunulira omusajja oli kye yali agamba, it's all about the inalienable right. We are stupid enough to give our inalienable right to individuals to abuse us whenever they want. And that is why they put us, Gonde Musoga, Sam Musoga, Ramteka ku finance. Sam Nasanyuka nnyo n'abayo abe ne basanyuka ne batijja. But Sam is a pepper tiger. He's nothing. It is because we have given out our rights stupidly
to whom?
To individuals. That is, by the way, it's not only in Uganda, but omuntu abakasoko kulaga the difference is Kenyans and people from Sudan. And people here in Uganda are threatening us. Tisimanya, you will be like Libya. Naye wekituuka terisi esobola kudeveloping with whatever plans you have, ngatoina the right. Olaba ne China, they did it. They had the agricultural boom, the agricultural revolution. Aba China never far in the agricultural revolution.
So do we need a revolution?
50s yakola chiti yakola. Olaba Tanzania. Tanzania bagenda ne batija not accepting people what they are. They taught the Tanzanians that you should live what you are. Let's go in a united Tanzania. But now they are rethinking. Hey, Abaganda, with their sense of love of character, they can achieve a lot. Abasoga, Abanyoro, Abatoro, they can achieve a lot in appreciating what we are, what they are. Until you appreciate what you are, and until you appreciate rights of others, you can do nothing.
Thank you. That's what you can do. Now, We have this saying, whenever we have a budget allocation, we all get a consonga manifesto, which I don't see also reality in it. I still use tuition theory, which you say that you as academicians, you first follow theory. I'm biased with the theory. Until President Museveni could add a 10 points program. That was theory. It was a guiding map. That ambulant. And in every time, President Museveni was Mwesigwa, the NRM ekola manifesto.
Yes.
Era manifesto obango gisomi. You see Uganda shining under the NRM, even other parties. Now the NRM emara yabitamu. I was a manifesto. No longer any budget, no longer any reality. For me, I see two things crashing. Do you want to tell us the image of portion is allocated to one? The line, that's the interest of NRM as a party, and they are moving on the manifesto.
What you bring across is very important, extremely important. Ate ne Dr. Chironde byayogeddeko ebimu bibadde bya makulu nnyo ze gyendi n'eri economy. Let me first just throw a simple rebuttal ku nsonga ze zimu zayogeddeko. Kati for example bwagamba waliwo omuntu wali eyo akola obutebe. Ne obutebe
ali mu production eno.
Yes, n'abukola bwabukola n'abuproducinga n'ave wake we wabukola n'abuteka ku luguudo. Actually for people who drive those long distances ojja kusanga nga wali watundira amanda ku luguudo, atundira obutebe ku luguudo, atundira amatoke ku luguudo, akola ki? That shows to me as an economist, it shows that the entrepreneurship ability is there. Because that same individual would have said, let me get this food and consume it. I don't need, after all, I don't need to do what? I have food for my children to eat. I don't need income. Kaleka to surviving it tugende maso. But there are what we call factors of production. Kat factors of production is no. Zeziyamba economic activities ogenda maso. The most important factor of production is entrepreneurship. Abantu okubanga balina obwagazi, willingness okukola, yes, to produce. So it is what he's saying. That is there. But he also in his background he says, but when this government was coming, it killed the backbone of the economy, the cooperatives. Now, I appreciate that school of thought that cooperatives were important. Kati bwe tufiira tusule ku ntaana. No, we are saying kati economy tegenda kati singa teziri mu budget. Tugambe economy tegenda kutambula. So why am I bringing this across? Okay.
Now, for the last 40 years without the cooperatives, what have you done? Mwatuka n'okulimba bannayuganda, you're going to smile middle income. The little I know, middle income, toyinza kugamba mbu you're in middle income, nga toyina economies of scale. Nga the Ugandans cannot afford to buy something. Newunya nnyo ng'omuntu agamba economy of scale, middle income, nga bannayuganda tebamanyi what they call shower girl. There are very few Ugandans who can afford what they call shower girl. We are in a simple way. I want you to understand, you cannot even dream about middle income when we are having this stupid income as Ugandans.
Doctor, before you go any further,
it's not about cooking with figures.
It's about what is on ground. You know what he's trivializing the discussion, because even in first world countries, he's saying, for example, you can't go in middle income when people don't know even what a shower girl is. Let me tell you something. Even in first world economies, they are poor people. They are extremely poor people. They are beggars in first world economies. So that one you cannot rule it out. And they are also in first world countries, their economy, they are individuals who survive below $1 a day. But for us, when we are doing our computations, we look at the national average. What he brings is very important. And it also sends the signals to government. But we are saying, when we look at what we have, Can the economy move ahead? He said Ramadan Gobi used to practice, to say a lot on Twitter and all that, but when he went into the driving seat, he seems to be...
Is it driving silently?
Yes, he seems not to be delivering anything. I don't want to... Ramadan Gobi has been in PS for a short time. Then two, we know that when you go to Ministry of Finance, right now they have a private sector development unit. There is a private sector development strategy. Now, all these documents, all these models they're bringing across are doing something. And I don't want to say, because, for example, we know it very well that Ramadan Gobi came out broadly, candidly, and said, we are going to freeze borrowing. Now, every economist would understand that at the level that Uganda is at, where our debt burden is tending close to 53%, 3.1 above the ceiling proposed by IMF. It would mean that Ramadan Gobi minds about the economy. When he comes out as PSST and he says that we are going to stop members of parliament from traveling out, we are going to seize procurement of vehicles, we are going to reduce on unnecessary expenditures. It means, just a minute, it means he minds about the economy. The debt burden of the economy is skyrocketing. But what I am saying is that obutava ku nsonga ye bwatunulira omuntu wa wansi ono naga nti omuntu wa wansi asobola okukola, ffe tuddayo ne tugamba okay, ekyo kyayogedde kirireetinga kitya ne budget, where we started from. Nti budget, just a minute, nti budget mulimu component ya community mobilization and sensitization. This was underfunded. But maybe the community needs to actually know the supply chain. Nti abantu abasinga, they know how to produce, but they actually are not aware of the supply chain. In economics, Twitter, information asymmetry. You produce a chair, there is someone who needs that chair, has money. There is someone maybe in United Arab Emirates who needs that chair produced down, but because of information asymmetry, it is not catered for.
Then who must avail it?
Now that's why we are looking at the budget as a tool to facilitate economic progress.
Sam, what is so hurting is that these people in academia, beba sinzo okubuzabuza omuntu oli owa wansi, it is so hurting nti them in academia cannot see the simple math. Bw'omuntu bw'aba alwadde malaria, omuwa panado okuwona malaria, omuwa chloroquine, wuliriza kyali ku kigambo kyagamba.
No, chloroquine gwayogerako. Chloroquine gwayogerako. Baligamba bakwadde parish development model bakuletedde sente. Baligamba bakuletedde microfinance support center bakuletedde sente. The issue is implementation.
You have not let me put out my idea.
Drive it home.
Now the idea is rather than go aba, that is obulimba n'obukuusa, nagamba they are going to stop borrowing. What should we do? Ngate amanyi ekivaako that borrowing. High costs on administration. I have not seen.
But that is what is cutting. That is what is cutting.
By members of parliament, by councillors, by mayor, bolina, tosobola kuba avoid, tosobola kuba afford.
So what is the solution?
The solution is cut on cost of administration and those lousy units. Small unit, what? Unit this, unit. There is a unit in the ministry.
Those are political rhetorics. What you are using. Because
there's a unit.
Cost of administration.
Now, you cannot tell me every time you're founding this authority, every time you're forming this unit, every time.
That is decentralization.
Right now,
we have them.
How many ministers do we have?
No, you see, that is
how many ministers do we have?
We have over 80.
We have over 80. How many ministers does a moving economy like India have? They have very few. Now, this is the rhetoric we are having in Uganda right now.
Let me ask you.
And you know, it is so hurting that the academicians.
Doctor, let me ask you. We are looking at the budget. And we know very well those administrative units, they were created under the law. We can't just wake up one day and we say,
scrap them off.
Bujiri district, we are no longer.
How did that law come?
So,
how did that law come?
Well, when you say fix bio, the program when the council is this Samuel Mwesigwa program, the platform. Studios of Nolan Frederick, Young and Kugumu Atena and Dr. Shidondo, Mr. Wamino. I saw that in Aditagada. Nina, there is an issue that I've observed in Kampala here, and something serious. The president has all been talking about the environment. Let us secure the environment, climate change, our climate, and what? But then it beats my understanding that organizations and NGOs are laboring to plant trees, and authorities are fighting to cut trees. The other day I was looking at one of the streets in Kampala, a street that has a very good green canopy, trees that have lasted for years. And now just because of developing infrastructure of a certain individual, we are cutting down all trees on a whole street. Are they policies? Do we have a sustainable plan after? And then the government which says that let's now keep our environment. Let's green the environment. Where are you when these people are cutting down the green that we have? I feel as if we are in a circus of play the monkey games. Tugamba tusimbe emiti obutonde bugwa naye ate ejiriwo tugisala. Authorities, KCCA and municipal councils tusala emiti egibaddewo and in Balu nalaba basala emiti egisoba 30. They are putting down everything. So I feel as if we are cheated in what we speak. One minute.
Ennaku zino bafunye akakodyo. Genda ku Bombo Road, genda e Katwe. Eddagala bafuuyira eddagala emiti gino eddagala ne gitandika okukala omulundi gumu. Genda ku Bombo Road, genda e Katwe waffe. N'olaba emiti 3 gikaze omulundi gumu. They don't know they don't know to Ugandans by no obwongo nti you can easily see omuntu yafuuyidde omuti ne gukala. Now I want to show you nti there has never been any will to protect the environment because omuntu tasobola ku building this very beautiful mall on
a wetland.
In a wetland. Ugundi bagiyita batya eno wano ku Kitante Road. Wano ugundi banange waliwo ka roundabout eva ku gundi ku eno kino eva ku Serena nekkirira. There is a mall one erudde waawe Garden City. Garden City was built on a waterway. Garden City was built on a waterway. And what happens? Rubiji nezimba. Now, whenever you build a garden city where Zimbabwe, they were supposed to put simple structures. Waterway. And when you really dig into the owners of Garden City, you will be shocked. Now, so many structures in Kampala have been built on waterways. Now, the waterways, Bweziboga, but it is simple logic.
Okay.
Now, until those buildings are removed from the waterways, the flooding will continue. However beautiful drainage system you build.
Kale, I want us to wind up. We are going to have our budget increases after every reading. 42, 43, 44, 45, 48, 50. Aye, embere y'abana Uganda yo eyongera kuika. Era nabayindi kusoma report ya
Namna Uganda ki oyambayire esuti onumya million ndala okuba embere eri kuika.
Minister of Finance obwavu obuli mu Uganda. Professor obwavu obuli mu Uganda Of course, I'm a voice of the poor people in Uganda. And you have government eraga nti yona eri ku ngero ekayenda okutoola emisolo mu bantu abana Uganda balebe enkulaze Paris development model kali setting off je tuli kusuubira okuyamba abantu bewansi
ya setting off
abantu bali kusuubula across borders eri ebizibu. Where is the reality in tax collection, domestic revenue? Sente edo dijavaawo mu current state jobona wetubanga if we are planning realistically oba tuli planning with blind eyes as government wakoba you are a fe tubawire know how you milk that money.
No, I think government has strategies. Sijagamba nti balina strategies, but you see like in a project there are stages. There is the designing stage, there is the planning stage, there is the designing stage, there is the implementation stage, there is the monitoring and evaluation stage. Now, the designing of government is not bad, by the way. Then the enforcement, the implementation,
the architectural plan is good.
Yes, it is good because for example, government is looking at agro-industrialization. Uganda has close to 65% of the economy contributed by agriculture. Then when you look at the informal sector, which employs close to 80%, close to 70% of these 80% are in the agricultural sector, and close to 80% of these 70% are in the urban area, in the rural areas. So government is already aware of this.
Agriculture as the main activity.
As a key contributor to the economy, because we have three major contributors to our economy. One is agriculture, which contributes close to 28%. Then two, we have the industry, which contributes close to 70%. And then three, we have the service sector, which contributes close to 47%. So all these three are major contributors to the economy. And the government is cognizant of this. That is good. The planning, the designing, it's good. Government many activities is on. That's why you are eteja missing out ku revenue collections. Bajja kulaga nti ba collecting on all the exports, all the products that were being exported, products that were being imported. You try to import, they will tax you. But the issue, the key point is, does government actually support these economic activities? Mu planning, they are doing some work. But when it comes to implementation, the implementation is poorly done. The implementation is poorly done. Mu Uganda, mu economy nga Uganda, close to 70% are still in the informal sector. When they are still in the informal sector, it means they are still employing and there are no contracts given. They are still, you are employing, but someone does not have any form of NSSF saving. Your business is not regulated by government. When you are in the informal sector, it means that even revenue does not have you in its registers. Uganda Registration Service Bureau, tekulina mu register yo, naye ng'olyeyo ekola. Kati abo be basinga obungi. Beba employing 80% of the economy. Bonatambula bwe tumuvinga wano Baba TV is strategically located. Bwe tumuvinga ne tu stepping out ne tandika okutambula. Ku buli business z'olabaawo. Ojja kusanga businesses zisinga ne bw'ogenda ntinda. 80% of them, they are not known by government. Ojja kusanga aba boda government temumanyi nti gyali. Osanga akube ngato government temumanyi nti gyali. Ojja kusanga ne restaurant obumu government temumanyi nti gyali. Osanga omutembe yali government temumanyi nti gyali. Kati how does government operate in such an environment? So government is supposed to pay attention to formalization of the sector, of the informal sector. Neji formalizinga, bwe mala okugiformalizinga neryoka egicapitalizinga. But you are saying microfinance support center eriwano erina sente. Mugende mujjeyo sente abo business obutono. Naye nga abo business obutono aba contributing to the tax income temubambanyi.
Naye nga bagenze bajjeyo sente.
No, tebagenda. Actually, let me tell you something very important statistics. In 2014, a study was conducted, and World Bank reported that 1 in 10,000 access credit. 1 kati center zola microfinance support center. Mubuli bantu mutwala bakola business muntu ogu yaina obusobozi obutambula nagenda na meeting requirements zonna nafuna sente. Nebogenda mu banka. Wano omuntu
akola mu UDB ne bangamba sente zikyaliyo. People don't go there.
Yes, it is there. Uganda Development Bank money is there. Uganda Development Corporation money is there. Sorry?
Sam, do you know why Ugandans are not borrowing? Because when you borrow, the business fails. Now, Sam...
The business does what?
Borrowing a sente, nogenda n'osubula, abali basubula ennyo the traders, borrowing nnyo. But why are the traders now resisting to go and borrow? It is the environment, the business environment. Agenda n'alinnya, n'atumiza ebintu okuva ebweru, URA n'emusaba emusolo omuyitirivu, and at the end of it all, the business failed. Now, kankubulire,
But as you respond, my question was,
yes.
Mumbere nunga government is looking at Ugandans okusoloza omusolo domestically. And the state of Ugandans, do you see reality in that correction?
There is no reality. What is hurting more is these academicians bringing out rosy no, I'm telling you, you have to accept the reality. A very good example of an academician, Professor Bukenya. Professor Bukenya, omuntu wafukira professor ate kokubanga afunye PhD. Ate kokubanga asomye era nga wandise ebitabo. Am I right?
Yes.
Now, omuntu asomye n'asomesa abasawo abawera n'amimikinga omuntu omulema. It beats my understanding because this is a medical doctor who has taught a number of doctors and has helped them get masters and PhDs. Now, I want you to understand the reality on the ground is different. It is different. Our problem is it's not about rosy. And when these academicians bring up rosy figures, you will be leading an M7 to start saying, Musimaya Uganda, we are middle income. Chanuma, because he made a fool of himself.
No, bani agamba ba academicians bani
academicians bote kokuba bebamuwa.
No, tuliyo because the UBOS came out and said we have not
omusajja yajja n'atandika n'ayogera banange middle income n'akituusa ng'amaze okuswala ennyo.
Now, we have in 3 years from now. So
now, I am telling you, it's not about the rosy figures. It's about the reality. The reality is we cannot afford the cost of administration.
Then what is the fact?
Until we have the institutions, genuine institutions back, we are wasting our time with those rosy figures.
No, I think he's missing the point.
Why? It is not about missing the point. To know
go ahead.
NSSF, abantu ba parliament bali bajibulirirako.
Okay.
Yes, and that is trillions of money. Yes, when those trillions of money were being investigated, the first lady brings in Obsiazi, and then Obsiazi becomes a song.
No, but Obsiazi is a problem. It's a social
problem.
Now, two, Tagundi, Amabati is barely 300 millions, and everybody.
No, that is wrong statistics. Amabati executive sat down and they passed a budget of 39 billion.
Supplementary.
Yes, and that 39 billion has to buy iron sheets and goats. So when you tell
I am telling you about the 300 million of the monies of Karamoja iron sheets. Now, to take let's believe me or not.
Doctor, before
it's all about the politics, the wrong politics in the country.
I like that we are harmonizing because I say the political interference.
It's about the wrong politics, and until we are ready to do away with the wrong politics, and until we are ready to swallow the bitter pill ne tutereeza politics w'eggwanga lino. We are wasting our money to discuss, we are wasting our time to discuss about the finance and getting out of the poverty.
No, that is also not true. You see, let me tell you something. Okay.
Doctor, let me ask you. Sometimes you speak as if you are not in Uganda, when you've just landed from another planet.
Doctor,
I want to tell you, if this is the current political system we have now, and believe me and you know, legally, constitutionally, and physically, you are not going to change this political system in a glimpse of an eye from now up to 2026. But now we are looking at a budget that we are going to run on in a year. Give us a short-term and mid-term solution than the longer term. Doctor, you are not going to unseat this government, which you feel that he has not done the rose, how you feel. So if you are not going to unseat it today, can we sit and cry and lament?
Samuel, let us go to the cause. Doctor, ayogedde bulungi agambe business newe tuziri capitalizing the business environment is not favorable. I agreed with him 100% on that. Much as I have some areas of departure. But talking about business environment, where I agree with him, there is what we call crowding out in economics. When government borrows locally, what you mean government yewola ku Stanbic Bank and the banks endala. Government we yewola locally, increasing interest rates because of the risks. Every lender wants to lend business. Kwa government issuing out what we call treasury bills and treasury bonds. Treasury bonds are long term, treasury bills are short term. Now when government borrows locally, it crowds out the investors. Abandi zene bazimba makolero ne bakola kyolensonga nti banka eyagalewo government but at a higher interest rate, which the ordinary business players may not afford. So as a result, the unfavorable business environment the doctor is talking about comes in. When it comes in, but what
for the local investor, for the local person?
Yes, for the local investor. But what tusobola kukola makolero, it means consumption of omuntu bweli bakolero nga likola juice consuming ettooke olyo wawansi lyasimbye n'amala emyezi 9 nga alirinda liveeyo ali supplying ekolero tewali agenda kuli consuminga. So as a result, demand is also affected. But then the other also important aspect why I actually blame government ne ku budget eno nti botunulira component nga tourism. Tourism yafuna 177 billion last time. This time it's around 89 billions. Now when the sector gets that, yemukweri extremely underfunded. Yet tourism is supposed to help in marketing our economy out of Uganda. The moment it markets, what does it mean? It means as a country which is focusing towards an export-led growth, import substitution, increasing our exports. It means when we don't market, no one will know what we have.
And no one will be interested in coming.
Yes, and no one will consume. Then so when they don't consume, it means our balance of payment position will remain unfavorable. That is one. Then two, when you don't fund the tourism sector, it means that abantu nga Dr. No abali yebwero abalina gasente gabwe batulide nga li comfortable mu gasente ge tebajja kuveeri kujja Uganda wano okitegedde buli mulambuzi wava mu America kati for example right now government eri sober yandibadde etadde sente nyingi mu tourism sector because COVID yayisa bubi nnyo abantu. People want to relax. And in relaxing, they want to know where to go and relax. Uganda has many tourist centers. So, singabali bakoze marketing mu tourism sector, it would mean that people would come from outside countries to come into Uganda. Do you know economically what it means? It means that we are earning foreign currency. The earning will increase. Ojimani tourism sector yoka. But government has a projection that it is going to bring in 1.77 billion US dollars. Now that is close to 6.5 trillions.
Projection without without prospects.
Very good, very good. You are planning that this cow is going to give me 10 liters of milk But I'm going to feed it on a small basin of grass.
But miracles happen.
So,
And we believe in
economics. No, in economics, it's all about projection. It's all about planning. In economics, the chances that you're going to get miracles are 0.0001. You plan and you also finance. That's why we are saying capitalize these sectors. Over there, or let's say issue Uganda Revenue Authority and where it is collecting taxes from. Now, Uganda Revenue Authority, according to their statistics, doctors are Uganda Revenue Authority in the first half of the financial year, it collected less by 94 billions in the first, just a minute, in the first half of the year. Then in the first month of January, in the second half, they overshooting by 14 billions. These are statistics of URA.
I was there.
Yes. Then, right now they are saying their deficit in collection is 80 billions. According to them, according to URA, they are performing well. Because abantu basasula pay as you earn, abantu basasula rental tax. Ochimanyi kati ebizimbe byonna byosulamu yes babisoloza. So URA yo erikola omulimu gwayo. But what my key point, my key focus area would have been nti bwebera ne target yo ngogamba nze target yange yakuva wano ngende kamocha nve kamocha ngende mu town nkomeo ku studio osobola okujja achievinga naye bwogamba target yange yakuva wano ngende etororo jenva omala okomeo wano no planning bubi obudde bujja kukwatola emegenda kati URA eteeka okuba ne NPA the target they collect is underestimated. That's why they in a fragile economy like this, URA feels that it is actually performing well.
Samuel Mwesigwa.
As you wind up.
Samuel Mwesigwa. Rwanda efuna these rosy figures from Uganda. Omanyi banayigala mu kuplaninga tulimo. Naye Rwanda ezifuna nezi implementing and they become effective. Bano bye basoma. Now why? It is because at once upon a time in 1950, the Tutsis who were being ngababalinya ku their inalienable right, basarod today katuwerwaneko and neberwanako. That is why the Hutus appreciated them, and these rosy figures can be implemented. Now, when you go to India, there's Pakistan and India. But fetuli basilamu, fetuli bahindu, tetusobola kutegeeragana. Now, these are very poor countries with no wealth. Neighbors comparing to the economics of Uganda, they are doing so well. Now, when it came to Eritrea and Ethiopia, Eritrea and Bagama, wundi mwe mutusosola, wachiwulide, ne Bagama, ebe kutulako. Now, in neighboring Kenya, the Chukuyus and the Luos used to take themselves for granted. Now they are on the same table. They are saying, Now, what is the solution for Uganda today? Until those economic entities that are actually are viable to be states like Busoga, because Busoga has a lot of wealth compared to Rwanda, has a lot of wealth compared to Eritrea. It has a lot of wealth compared to Pakistan. But until the Basogas have their inalienable right, the Bagame echintu chafeka na katono emduma tumukoleboti emboli chusikobeti rice tumukoleboti, they will always be exploited. Now, what am I saying? And until you make now, what when in the national cake, what has the Muganda got? What has the Msoga got? What has the Acholi got? And until we talk these things openly and appreciate them, they will always, these people are going to bring the beautiful figures, they're going to bring whatever the kachicha is, and you know, they will bring you all, they will bring all the nice language and convince you that actually
so
you're being exploited. The solution is we should stop the exploitation of particular people or other people to standing our ground. Let's get our inalienable right.
Some individuals are more
let's get our inalienable eddembe ly'obuntu bw'oba toyina ddembe ly'abuntu tosobola ku developinga. That is the essence of development everywhere.
Samuel nga tonavaawo.
That is the essence of development everywhere. It is not about the figures.
I can't, you know, as an academician, this is a kuva so good. You know, when you are looking at an economy, there are what we call macroeconomic indicators and microeconomic indicators. But tutandika okutunulira eggwanga ne tutunulira zino tribes zetulina 140
years. For the last 40 years.
No, those are, you see, that is
the
mismatch we're talking about.
What
How
is
many
happening?
tribes does Rwanda have? You see, that is not the issue. The
Until
cancer,
people realize
the cancer that is killing Uganda is corruption. That is it. It is killing it politically.
Not regional balance.
No, you see those things. Let me tell you something.
Regional balance.
Let me tell you something. The moment you eradicate corruption, all regions will get what they want, because Uganda has only 4 regions. So these tribes are just other extra details.
I believe it's not a matter of fighting corruption. It is a matter of appreciating everybody. I think it's about appreciating what everybody contributes to the economy. The two keys. It's not about. No,
23%.
It is about appreciating rights of others to the economy. And until the rights of others are appreciated to the economy, we are going to do nothing.
23%.
Until the rights of
Gemagane Sasira Erikwida, Nize Samuel Mwesigwa, Bazinga Wabusoga, Afumboy.